Hey guys, Better Call Saul review episode 306, Off-Brand. Now, after the climactic end to episode 305, 306 begins what I think is a new journey down a different story of the grand story being season 3. In the first 5 episodes of season 3, I felt like there was a definitive story being told, mostly between Jimmy and Chuck, and the complete dismantling of their relationship. And there were other plot lines going behind the scenes, and I think those are really going to be expanded on starting in 306, and they were. This has a lot to do with Gus, Mike, Hector, and the big operation that's really culminating out of all these networks of people having their own journeys that they want to go on. You have Gus, who really just wants to build his legitimacy and his empire and keep that stability. You want Mike, who's really kind of finding an identity of what he's good at and where he can make the best living doing so. And you have Hector, who really just needs to get a grasp on things after seeming to have fallen out of the kind of prosperity that he knows so well from his cartel business. And that's mostly highlighted in this episode. I've got to say, this is the episode of cameos. This might have the single most significant cameos out of any of the episodes, and the thing I like with Breaking Bad is that they're not done cheaply. They're done here to really implement into the plot line and get things moving. Because you might not consider it, but we're already halfway through season 3. It's going to be season 4 next year, and you can only think of the kinds of directions they can go in as long as they set things up. So they don't do things hastily here, but it is cool to see things moving along steadily. We see certain things come to light that we wondered maybe about their origins in Breaking Bad, and it's done with subtlety and sophistication per usual. And I've got to say, we are picking away at some of the characters a little more. I think there's a good foray into the mind of Nacho or Ignacio, kind of seeing his plight change in a little different way. And it's going into my first theory that I had early in the season, that there is going to be this big culmination of attention that's been brewing around Hector, Mike, Gus, and essentially everybody else that's in this kind of death zone around him, or the radiation zone, the blast zone, if you will, around Hector. And I think it's going to lead to how we see him end up in the beginning of Breaking Bad. But until then, I'm not going to speculate too much. I'm going to enjoy what I see, and more so, the character is really what is important here. I think we get glimpses into characters that maybe you feared they were going to be too one-dimensional, but then you're starting to see Vince Gilligan, Peter Gould, and the crew pull that curtain away, and it just makes it more enjoyable and more fruitful. And even for characters like Nacho, who are played very well, it's great to see them given that same respect. Now, in terms of character, Jimmy has a big moment in this particular episode. That being a definitive moment in his character's lineage that I think is really going to define who he becomes later on in life. Now, I'm going to leave that up for speculation in case you haven't seen the episode, but let me say, I did enjoy it for what it did, and it also did it in a fairly plausible way. Like I said, there's a lot of things going on here, and they don't try to shoehorn in certain things, and I think if you look at the events that build up to this character-defining moment, it is actually pretty fruitfully done and thoughtfully done, and has had kind of the groundwork laid for it to happen. So I think this is the beginning of a new story for this season, while still falling under the umbrella of the whole season's themes. Let me know what you guys thought about this though. Comment below and let me know, what do we got going forward, huh? And what do you like about where these characters are going? Do you like the kind of fruitful depth of thought that really goes into their journeys and their feelings and what's going to happen? I know I do. Anyway, until next time guys, thank you for watching. Subscribe if you like this channel for weekly content, and I'll see you later.